Fire North 113 did enter the community of Leaf Rapids yesterday evening.
We are engaged with local leaders in cities, in towns, and First Nations to ensure that they have the resources that they need to fight the flames and to get their citizens to safety.
The fire jumped the Churchill River and has resulted in some damage to structures in Leaf Rapids.
The situation is very, very serious, and we are doing everything that we can to preserve life, but also to preserve people's livelihoods and homes in the region.
The 2025 wildfires in Manitoba devastated many northern communities, forcing thousands to evacuate. For the former mining town of Leaf Rapids, the fires are just another hardship layered onto years of ongoing struggles. The majority of the residents are First Nations people, and with no local leadership, the people of Leaf Rapids are left sifting through the ashes. So we've just arrived in Leaf Rapids. We're just under 3 hours away from Thompson in northern Manitoba. And we initially wanted to do a story here because this town was hit really badly by the forest fires in summer of 2025. So when we reached out to community members, we actually found out that this town has been dealing with a lot of issues even prior to the forest fires. There's a lack of health care, a lack of jobs, housing, a boil water advisory for well over 20 years. And on top of all of that, Leaf Rapids has been without a mayor and council for 6 years now. For years, the residents of Leaf Rapids have been calling for change. And you can see why. Driving down the quiet streets, it seems most homes are uninhabitable. Some vandalized, some completely burned down, either from arson or wildfires. The effects of a failed economy and diminishing services has put a strain on this small community. But for nearly 300 people, it's still home.
Like there was a house right here that was destroyed. I grew up here. I've been here since 2003, just a kid. And I've seen how much has disappeared as I've grown.
Most of Irvin Biggety's family moved away. When a wildfire stormed the town of Leaf Rapids last summer, it was a blow to an already crumbling community. The house his mother lived in became condemned.
Oh yeah, this door's open. Yeah, you'll see some of the condition of my mom's house. When she got home on September 12th, 13th, inside, the room was covered in mold and the ceiling caved in. Then we started looking around and like, oh, there's mold everywhere. The entire ceiling came down. And then my sister gets a hold of me and she had the same problem. So both my mom and my sister both had the roofs caved in. Both houses are owned by landlords. That's where they're both gone. There's a big puddle of blood all over the place here from all her lost meat. My mom was heartbroken because she was living outside in the backyard, living in the tent. Some of the stuff she probably wants back with her. It always happens though, you know, this is my mom says, you know, she's used to it. She's used to us losing stuff. It's what's been happening for years to us. We always lose our stuff.
In Manitoba, there is another ongoing wave of wildfires that is forcing some to evacuate their homes for a second time. the town of Leaf Rapids is issuing an evacuation notice for tomorrow morning.
The 20-year average for this date is 187, and we are at 235. So we're definitely above average for the number of fires we've had so far this year.
The province is now monitoring 16 fires that could impact communities, and 6,600 Manitobans have been evacuated.
Three hours away in Thompson, Irvin's mother, Rose Moose, is living in a Manitoba housing unit.
I'm grateful that I'm blessed with furniture and food and a roof over my head. But it's hard to be in Thompson. It doesn't feel like home here at all. It's like I'm evacuated all over again. I still, in my mind and my heart, that I feel like I'm gonna go home and me and my kids are gonna go home and things are gonna be the way it used to be. But I don't think I'm going home.
I'd say it's 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers from the highway.
2025 held a record-breaking wildfire season in Manitoba, forcing thousands from their homes. Dennis Anderson was one of the many who stayed behind to fight the blaze in Leaf Rapids.
This season, I think, is the worst forest fire season that anybody has ever seen for a good long time, in many, many years. And, you know, like, people were evacuated thinking, okay, yeah, we'll be back. And, you know, that's not unusual in the north, be evacuated for a week or two, you know, no big deal. It turned into months. You know, like, there was 200 of us at times, like, feet on the ground, night and day, man, trying to save this community. You know, they were sleeping in hose bags, in warehouses, picnic tables. Everybody was catching a nap where they could, and they worked very hard.
Hey, you guys good? Yeah.
About 95% of the town's population is Indigenous. Most moved here from various communities in the early 2000s, escaping issues happening on reserve. For Rose, her home community of Granville Lake was evacuated when its septic system failed.
It was hard when I first left Granville Lake because I didn't know how to adjust to Leaf Rapids. I made it my home, I adjusted to it, and I got used to it. But Leaf Rapids was full of people, a lot of people. Every house was full in Leaf Rapids, and it was really beautiful. Leaf Rapids was a beautiful town one time.
At one point, Leaf Rapids was a thriving town, built in the 1970s to support a copper and zinc mine.
My dad went to work at the mine because there was no housing for outside people that weren't working at the mine, kind of thing, at the time. So Dad took a job at the mine just to get us housing. I can remember houses going up, the infrastructure going in, people all building and rushing around. But it was amazing. It really was amazing how fast things progressed.
Surrounded by the Churchill River and boreal forest, it was a land of opportunity. Hundreds of mining jobs fueled the growth of a booming town. A new town center had everything under one roof.
We had a couple of banks, hotel, restaurant, clothing store, Hudson's Bay Company, like the entire school was there. You know, there's probably 3,000 or 4,000 people here at one point.
But things quickly declined when the copper and zinc market plummeted, closing the mine for good.
As soon as the mine shut down, that was it. And since then, it's just been on a steady decline. You know, like, our infrastructure is failing. We're going on 50 plus years on that same system. I don't think we can get parts for our water treatment plant even.
The town center is a far cry from what it once was. Besides a department and grocery store, it's pretty much empty. School is still happening here, but for the rest of the residents, the town center is pretty much a place to grab some groceries and use the Wi-Fi, since cell phone service is non-existent.
And this is the mayor and council chambers. This is where the business of the town would be conducted. Now it's pretty much vacant.
Chief Administrative Officer Paul Hogan is the last one working in the municipal office.
Mostly my job is to make sure public works is running right. We have some apartments. Garbage pickup is happening. We're a pretty small operation. We don't have extensive plans for anything. I think for most people it's just surviving.
Leaf Rapids Council was dissolved in 2019. The inability to maintain a quorum forced the province of Manitoba to intervene, appointing a third party to take over.
People are not, aren't heavily skilled and don't necessarily have much money. And people aren't paying property tax, so we're in third-party management because the town cannot function on the revenues we accrue. The province has to run the town.
Do you know what it would take to get a mayor and council back in here?
You'd probably ask Irvin Biggity that kind of question.
Irvin Biggity was the last elected mayor of Leaf Rapids for 2 years.
I knew that with the title, it came with power. And it wasn't because I wanted power, it's because I knew the power I could do good with. And there was a lot of issues that were not being addressed, that needed to be addressed. Like in school, there used to be so much after-hour programs, there used to be so many things to do. You go to the library, you go to the youth center, you go to the gym. Now, kids have nothing to do in this town. There's absolutely nothing. Why are we still living like this? Like, why is there no housing? Why is there no clean drinking water? Why is there no jobs? Like, why is there no opportunity?
A buildup of concerns has left Leaf Rapids residents with more questions than answers. The main question being, who do they turn to?
This is what we did before Leaf Rapids was here as children.
So then you sit there and you get your coney bear here.
We were tiny guys when we started doing this with my dad.
There's a way to put this coney bear in.
He trapped this area even before the highway was here, like in the 50s and the 60s.
As Dennis Anderson and his brother Keith retrace their father's footsteps, they pass the tradition of trapping down to Larry Ballantyne.
It's a lifestyle for us, and like it's going to continue on, hopefully, like with our children and grandchildren.
If you sit there and the martins come, they climb the tree, they go in there, get caught. And there's another rabbit snare.
Maintaining a family trap line is a form of income and a way to monitor the land.
With the forest fire that we had, and that a lot of the animals depleted this year, like your martins and all that, eh? Well, last year, like we had 92, and then this year we've only had 19 so far.
Being able to do what we do and help feed the community when, we feed ourselves and feed a bunch of family and friends and all that.
With a lack of steady jobs in town, putting food on the table isn't always guaranteed. Supplying country food like rabbit meat isn't just tradition, it's essential.
Without the employment, without the economic base in town too, it's really hard on people. They don't you know, they're at a loss as to what to do. I consider myself lucky. I fish all summer. I take odd jobs whenever the opportunity arises. You know, like we have, maybe 3 or 4 businesses in town that might employ 10 people. There's just no opportunity in here, in Leaf anymore. None. I feel the province and the feds, they have obligations to this community. They refuse to look at anything that concerns Leaf Rapids.
So I just spent around 5 days in Leaf Rapids to speak with residents about some of the issues that they're facing. And now that we are back in Winnipeg, I'm just going to head into the office to follow up with some emails. After months of contacting, various forms of government and Indigenous leadership, it's still unclear who can really step in to help make some real changes in Leaf Rapids. When the town's council dissolved in 2019, the province of Manitoba appointed Way to Go Consulting to take over. APTN reached out to them for a comment on issues Leaf Rapids residents are facing. We were directed to the province. The province declined an interview. In an email, a spokesperson states that Leaf Rapids will remain under a provincial order of administration for the foreseeable future, with no plans for a municipal election. The email also states that the province will continue to work with Indigenous leadership. So we turn to Manitoba Keewatinawi Okimakanak, or MKO. It represents 26 Northern First Nations in Manitoba. It advocated for Leaf Rapids in the past, and according to this list from October 2025, it served Leaf Rapids. But now MKO says the town is not in its jurisdiction. That's when we noticed Leaf Rapids is no longer listed. MKO did not respond when we asked why the town is no longer supported. For Leaf Rapids residents, unanswered questions are part of everyday life.
It's almost like, they want Leaf Rapids to fail, but there's a lot of people that call it home, and you just don't pull people's homes out from under them and ask them to leave, I don't think anybody would.
My parents can't live here. It's really sad that it's come to this. You'd think that it's going to get better and something's going to happen, but definitely not. Definitely not the Leaf Rapids that I grew up in.
Don Halcrow runs the Churchill River Lodge just outside of town. It's the only accommodations available to anyone visiting the area. This has always been her dream. But Dawn has been here through it all, from the wildfires to the downfall of her hometown.
Leaf Rapids is very disheartening, for someone that grew up in Leaf Rapids, and it was a great place. I grew up figure skating. I lived at the rink. There was endless opportunities. My mom and dad had a cabin down the road. They just sold their house in 2022. They had to leave. People were trying to burn it down. My kids couldn't stay in there. The amount of violence and destruction. Their front door was broken in. We changed it. 2 weeks later, it broke in again.
How we fix it, I really don't know. I really don't. Things that I would like to see would be youth, and a healthy community. You only get a nurse 5 days a week, like it's a 9 to 5 kind of thing. So we get no more doctors. I haven't seen a doctor here for months and months, a year probably.
If emergent care is needed after 5 p.m., an ambulance will take a patient to Lynn Lake, nearly 2 hours away.
And even if you do get medevac to Lynn Lake and treated and stuff like that, then people have no means of coming back. Like the ambulance isn't going to bring you back.
Some locals are taking matters into their own hands.
There's no reliable transport here, so a lot of the time people are stranded whether in Thompson or in Lynn Lake. So pretty much this is kind of the thing to get everybody around now for those who don't have a vehicle.
Emilio Campbell starts his days early, preparing for long hours on the road. For 5 months, he has been running Northern Link shuttle service, connecting Leaf Rapids residents to Thompson and other nearby communities.
You know, people are always complaining that there's no transportation, it's hard to go back and forth. Medical is one of the big ones. They need to go to the hospital or they need to go for their appointments. Shopping as well. There's not a lot of selection here when it comes on to getting groceries.
For Kyle Travers, his one-way ride to Thompson is $75.
It's just hard to find a reliable ride. Some people are just a little too busy and overcharged. Sometimes it's $300 one there and back from Thompson to here.
While Northern Links is still in its trial run, Emilio is working to fill the gaps in the healthcare system.
Now I'm working on being an official medical transport to bring them to the hospital and back too. And I'm also working with the pharmacies to be able to bring prescriptions in.
A much-needed service for Leaf Rapids residents. We spent almost 1 week in Leaf Rapids to hear stories from the people that call this place home. Even through the challenges, their connection to this town hasn't faded.
Oh, I love this community there. You know, we have a lot of problems, there's a lot of struggles. People struggle with a lot of issues. Most of them are good meaning people.
Leaf Rapids is a big part of my heart, right? And it's definitely not what it used to be, and it definitely doesn't deserve the way it's been treated.
I really hope they listen this time and really see how painful it is to see Leaf Rapids almost burned down.
Definitely not the Leaf Rapids that I grew up in. Sorry, I think that's a little bit too emotional.
When you have a home, you don't just pick up and go. It's valuable to you. It means everything to you. It's where your family grew up. It's where you see your children grow up. It's the place that makes you feel the most safest. And that's where you want to be.